Dose is off.
He'll be back.
He's like, ooh, a leaf just fell.
He'll be back with his toy.
600 metres away. Is it recording?
He's recording.
Check the red dot.
I did.
It's on.
Yep, and I waited a few seconds to make sure it didn't go off.
Did like the timer like ticks over, like 1 second.
Yes, I did. I checked.
Okay, good. Just checking because like.
It's still going to say 27 seconds now.
Oh, that's just 27 seconds of gibberish. Oh, here he comes. Hey, buddy. I don't know where you're going to sit. You just had. Oh.
We need like a dozer.
I don't get it. 100 acres and he wants to play with his toy under the tripod.
Well, it's because where we are. He helps us.
So, what are we cracking on with talking about today, Amanda?
From ROCKPILE Off-Grid Homestead, Corey.
I'm Corey. It's Amanda. We live at ROCKPILE, 100 acres, fully off-grid in Western Australia.
That's right.
In the wheat belt region.
Yep. And we've been building this place from nothing, and one of our big projects for this year was this shade house that we're sitting in at the moment.
Yes.
Because we are making over our veggie patch. The shade house was to battle the pretty harsh summers we get here. Intense summers, because we're kind of like a semi-arid climate here.
Yes.
So yeah, the summers get pretty full on. And we also get frost in winter, so having a place with a bit of shade cloth shelter will help with that, with the frost as well.
Well, that's our theory.
That's the theory.
We did some research. We thought, yep, we'll give it a crack. And you've seen from the videos that
it's a decent sized project.
It took a little bit to get there.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's always other projects on the go that sort of like behind the scenes action, you know, that not everyone gets to see, but just general stuff that needs to be done on the homestead. That's, you know, it's not very exciting, some of it.
Yeah, it's mostly building stuff and all the everyday chores type stuff.
Yep.
Okay, so this build here, we started this with like a bit of a budget. We didn't specify a budget, but we did say that we didn't have an unlimited budget. So we're trying to do it as economical as possible.
That's good.
And we also said that we would tell you guys what the costings were. So I have a list on my phone.
I worked them all out because that was my job.
Yeah.
And I airdropped it to Amanda because I'm up with the technology now. All right. It did take a few goes, but I sorted it. It's okay.
So we are like 90% here on this shade house. There's other bits and pieces that we want to do in the future that aren't really part of this original build. It's at the stage now where it's ready to go. So basically we started with an area we wanted to build in.
Yep.
We worked it out.
Yep.
You drew up a plan.
Yes.
Just a concept plan, and we got some measurements for some timber. Our first purchase was the timber. So
should we say the size first of the shade house?
Oh, sure.
It is 16.8 metres that way long by 5.8 metres that way. It's 2.4 metres high on that corner and it's 3.6 metres high on the other corner because of the slope of our land.
Yeah.
And it's just basically it's shade on the top and down the back, and we have allowed for shade cloth on the ends here that we may roll down in like the peak of summer. There is a lot of other things that we're going to go on in here, but this is not that sort of video. This is just what it's going to cost to get a basic roof structure with shade cloth on it.
Okay, let's go then.
Do it.
Okay, so the timber, the sizes we got were 90 by 45 timber and also 70 by 45. And the reason why we went with timber is because the equivalent in steel, patio tube steel, was going to be cost prohibitive for us. And we knew that there was like compromises to make with timber. Yeah. It's not like super straight. And there's all stuff like that. So we knew that.
Dozer
wants to join in.
Yeah.
So the total cost for timber up to this point was $1,570.
Yes.
That's Australian, by the way, in case you didn't notice.
AU.
So our first lot of timber we bought was...
Just leave it.
Just ignore him.
I can't.
So the first lot of timber we bought was just under $1,200.
Yep.
And that was pretty much as we could find straight, like non-banana timber in the store that day.
And we were kind of pretty loaded up on the ute as well.
Like for safety reasons, load on the ute.
Yep.
So that's extra cost for the timber was kind of additional trips to go get extra bits and pieces, and if the camera's shaking, it's Dozer.
Just ignore him.
I can't.
It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's the timber.
Yes.
And so to get those timbers in the ground, we attached some to the existing fence, secured them to the fence, and there was a row like along the open side that we rapid set concrete into the ground. 4 bags of rapid set, $32.
Yep.
And then that brings us to the roof. Now, I don't know if you watched the video of the bow and arrow truss system that Corey used.
Invented.
So that involved wire, but we used some existing fencing wire.
Yes, I do have a little list there of things that we already had.
All right, so existing fencing wire that we already had on our property.
Yep.
Lots, like many rural properties, will have an abundance
random
of
bits and pieces.
Fencing wire, but you did have to purchase 8mm threaded rod.
That's correct. Yeah.
Which was $15.
Just one length, because I need like little bits like this, so I just cut it up with the grinder.
Okay.
Yep.
Shade cloth. Okay, so that was another significant purchase. We went with white, 50% UV protected, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
50% rated.
And so that was $402, and we still have a little bit left over. It came in 4 metre wide rolls, and we got 50 metres.
It's written on my list.
Okay, 50 metres by 4 metres.
Yep, and the roll is actually 2 metres wide when you buy it, and you unroll it to the length you want, and then you unfold it, and it gives you the 4 metre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And as a help to attach that, instead of getting the shade cloth spiky
the actual proper shade cloth fixing strips,
which are quite expensive.
Yeah.
Corey came up with an idea, because he's an ideas man.
I invented that one too.
And we used a pack of carpet spike strip, which was kind of good in some ways and didn't work in others, but where it did the job.
But all in all, for the price, what was it?
$60.
$60. That'll probably only get you like 4 bits of the proper shade cloth fixing strip, and we done this whole lot with the carpet smooth edge strip. It's just timber, as you saw, about 30mm wide, with a heap of little like 6mm spikes, like little nails that come out of it, and they're on an angle, leant back. So when you pull the shade cloth tight over it, it hooks onto the nails, and keeps it taut.
Also something you don't have on here is the stain. So we stain that strip, but we also stain the timber, because we have stained our copper log post and rail fencing, and we wanted that same kind of dark. I
think that stain was about $120 for that tin.
$120. Just make a mental note that we have to put that onto the total.
Yeah.
Okay, box of packers. So that just helped with the construction, packing out timbers, using the packers to kind of secure down sections of the shade cloth.
Yep.
And just general construction. Landscape screws, they're 200 mils long.
You didn't say how much the packers were.
Oh, sorry, the packers are $40.
$40. But I do have like half a box left over, so we use them a lot just in general building stuff. So I've always got a box of packers on hand, just in case.
So if that's something you already had around, because you're like Corey and have that sort of stuff, even though we did have to buy it that time.
I mean, you could have used like little off-cut bits of timber as well. You just would have had to cut a few of them, like the way we did it, but the packers just seemed a lot easier. Already cut the size of the box.
And to screw all the timber together, we used landscape screws.
Yep.
They're 200 mil long.
Correct.
And a box of those is $80. Those damn roosters.
Just ignore the rooster.
They'll be in the freezer soon.
So this is going to turn into a chicken processing video.
So the total of all that, if you're keeping count, is 2,199 plus the
stain.
130.
Yeah.
So
22 plus 130 is 2,300 and
30.
yeah.
Okay, 29.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so the things we had was the wire. We had countless various screws
Yep.
that we could use for little bits and pieces if we needed longer screws, shorter screws, drill
Yeah.
points, whatever. Nails. We had gripples, which Corey used to help like tension the wire.
Yep.
Oh, and also you had one of those
Like a ratchet strainer type thing.
strainer thing.
Yep.
So there's probably like a few $100 worth of stuff all up.
I just kind of estimated that price.
If you had to go out and buy it,
yeah.
you'd have to allow a few $100. Yeah. So, okay, so grand total that was $2,329 and allow another few $100 if you have to like supply the complete amount, and that is what got us the 5.8 meters by 16.
16.8.
16
yeah.
meters.
So I mean, if you look at the price, like 2,300 basically, and 1,500 of that was for timber, and 400 was for shade cloth.
Yeah.
That's $1,900.
Yeah.
Just for timber and shade cloth.
All right, so that's the cost.
That's the cost. The cost is the cost. Yep. So there's just the price of stuff these days. There's probably not really too many like significant cheaper ways about it. Like to do the framework. You know, I mean the shade cloth is the cost. You know, but to do the framework.
Yeah, you've got different options.
I mean you've got wood or steel, basically. If you've got access to cheap wood or cheap steel, I'd probably go with the one you've got the best access to for price.
And it depends on what sort of area. We've got a large veggie garden area, and we wanted like a large shade cloth space because that will increase our growing through the summer.
Yeah.
But if you didn't need this amount of space, like some people put in like the star pickets and put over PVC.
Yeah.
And that will give you a quite respectable shade.
You could do like a
tunnel.
nice tunnel with that.
Shade house tunnel.
Yep. I'm just not sure how big you could go with that. Like ours is like nearly 6 meters. I don't think we could have done that with PVC.
No, I don't. So I guess have you got any ideas that we could have achieved, or someone else could achieve something similar? Because we've done ours now, so don't worry about us.
Yeah.
But if someone else wanted to do something similar of a similar size or a smaller size, what have you done that has been really economical?
Yep.
And like, what could you suggest that would have, helped us or help someone else save?
I guess help keep
some
the cost down because
the less you spend on something means like the more you can spend on us, like animals and and seeds and
roosters.
roosters,
for example.
Oh, and I should add that this is a big thing ticked off our 2023 goals list. You know what we should do? We should do an update on how our goals are going. Maybe not today, but
I've got the list on my phone.
Should we do this in a separate video?
Maybe.
Goals update. Okay, guys, let's do a sign off then.
Okay. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks, guys. See you later.
We'll chat with you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.